Well, the majority of the victims' families, and if the media listening wants me to give them their names, and the majority of the families, what in polls, over 70% that were asked said they didn't like the commission and thought it was a lie, and 6 of the 10 commission members and 2 of their council members, so a total of 8, say it's a complete fraud and a lie, and that said that there should be criminal investigations of the White House and Pentagon. I mean, this is in the Washington Post and Associated Press, and we're bad because we're going, hey, the commission says it's a lie?
Yeah, I think that's another part of this whole media spin machine is that they're now, you know, day 2, day 3, day 4 into this thing. They're taking everything that I have illustrated in the bullet points, and they're putting these as words, thoughts, opinions, theories from my mouth. That I'm
Stay there.
Okay.
Got a break. Charlie Sheen. Stay with us. Back in 1 minute.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done's been right.
It's one of the biggest stories out there right now. We have retaken 9/11. The establishment's tried to put out a distorted view of history when their stories always changed. Our questions are unchanging and must be answered. It is a fact that 6 of the 10 commissioners say it's a fraud from the 9/11 Commission itself, appointed by Bush. We demand a new congressional investigation. Charlie, you got cut off by the break there. Finish up the point you were making about how the media will never focus on what you said. They always distort what you're saying. Yeah, and then they're putting, you know, words in my mouth that these are my opinions, my theories, these are my beliefs, and when in fact it's just, you know, it's they're drawing from the bullet points and turning them into my words, and they're now saying that, you know, that I said that the CIA was working with Bin Laden and blah 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 and so on and so forth, and they're ignoring the fact that was Sibel Edmonds, FBI translator, who just broke her gag order, you know, and they're saying that I'm insisting this was an inside job orchestrated by the Bush cabal and so on and so forth, when in fact I'm just pointing out that, you know, that to look at these glaring inconsistencies, because Alex, let's face it, how many points did you and I go through to bring it down to 20? Probably 300.
Probably 300, yeah. Should we reveal why it's 20, Alex? Nobody's picked up on this, have they?
It's 2020. It's 20 minutes. It's 20 points. 20/20 vision.
What's 9 plus 11?
20.
Yeah. Ooh, Charlie Sheen, the numerologist. Ooh, I can hear it now.
No, but it's the establishment that's obsessed with that.
Yes.
I mean, look, we have a White House that day one said Iraq did it, and it turned out they knew Iraq wasn't involved. Even if you believe the official story, they premeditatedly, that came out in the White House memo and the Downing Street memos. That's mainstream British news. Right. The White House confirmed that they wanted to shoot down U.S. aircraft or get them shot down to blame it on Saddam, that they knew Saddam wasn't involved. They knew he didn't have yellow cake or nuclear bombs. They knew he didn't have weapon systems. And they persecuted the inspectors that told the truth. And so if they'll lie about WMDs and go kill over 1 million Iraqis and 5,000 U.S. troops, what else will they do?
I mean, you tell me. It seems like their record is a little tarnished going in. A little bit tarnished.
Well, even MSNBC and Cy Hirsch reported that Cheney wanted to paint up U.S. ships like Iranian ships and have them attack our destroyers.
Exactly. And as we discussed earlier, this is the same guy that was the only person alive that had shoot-down authority, had the authority to call for sorties on the hijacked airliners. So let's talk about that. Talk about that, Sean Hannity. Talk about that, Bill O'Reilly. Talk about that, Rush. Talk about that, Meghan McCain. Just talk about it. Just talk about it. Let's just discuss it.
I guess
I would love to hear their thoughts about that, because if unless they're going to spend the entire time criticizing me and the things they think I've done or have done, then let's talk about what's really going on.
Charlie, there's no doubt that you are risking a lot doing this. There's no doubt we're risking our lives doing this. These are murderers. Some of these people that run these dark systems. Again, why did you do this?
Well, let me illustrate one thing. There's been a little heat from the corporate side of my workplace, and what I've explained to them is, hey, this is where I work, but I live in the real world, and so I'm sorry, I can't stand idly by any longer and just pretend like all this stuff is going to fix itself. And if I've got a platform that others don't, that others need, if I've got a voice that can be of service to those that need me, then I'm going to use it. And I had an amazing example growing up of my father who stood in the face of tyranny my entire life and was ridiculed and criticized and called insane and misguided and uninformed and a radical and a tinfoil hat wearer, and I had that as an example of a guy that just believed in the truth and believed in humanity, and believed in goodwill, and believed in bringing hope to the hopeless.
Charlie, we've got to break again. I want to come back and speak about that, go through more of the points, and we're going to go to Bob McIlvaine as well.
Direct to you and in your face. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here live. We're not left or right. We are against corruption. We're against socialism, communism, imperialism, any form of command and control tyranny. And we just tell the truth. We have a declassified government document in ABC News. Operation Northwoods, U.S. government plan to bomb U.S. cities as pretext for war. We have Army field manuals where the government stages terror. It's declassified. We talk about it. We know that the Gardasil shots are killing people, and it's in the news. We cover it. I mean, that's all we do here is tell the truth. Our only agenda is the truth. Charlie, we're trying to explain your role models, your father, everything your father has done. I mean, he spoke out day one with you against the war. And you guys really got attacked for that. Look who was proven right in the end. How dare your dad say there weren't WMDs? We're on the right side of history.
Yeah, I think that's really key, Alex. I think that's really key. I absolutely believe that myself, that we are on the right side of history. And I think it's only a matter of time before more join us on that right side. And I think what people need to understand and what has been such a really offensive spin job is that I'm not claiming that I know what happened. I'm not making those claims. I'm just asking people to look at the inconsistencies, look at the stuff, look at the absolute facts that were completely ignored. When you get into the doomsday plane, which as Anderson Cooper reported on, and then the commission deemed it, they had so much to investigate, they didn't feel it was important enough to include in the report. Guys, it's the doomsday plane.
Over New York, over D.C., multiple government E-4Bs, over command and control aircraft while this is happening, but jets 20-something miles away, F-16s can't get there, but the doomsday planes are over both targets.
It's a real problem. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be looked at thoroughly. Let's subpoena and put those pilots under oath. Let's do that. When did you take off? How long were you in the air? What was your mission? What were you doing there? What were you told? And again, Alex, it's not just me. I mean, these are the questions that the families had at the commission hearings. This is all the stuff that was completely swept aside, and they were absolutely stonewalled at every turn, and frustrated and screaming out during the proceedings and being escorted away as a security violation. I mean, come on. It's just,
Yeah, they're in there screaming, saying, cover up, inside job. They're drug away. People like Bob McIlvaine, whose son died. And then meanwhile, these media whores get up there and say, all the families disagree with Charlie Sheen. When, here's an example out of Salon, 911 Truth signatory standby call for new investigation. And Salon called 50 of these people and only got 2 of them to halfway recant. And Salon rightfully said and wrote a positive piece and said, look, people have a right to question what's going on.
Of course they do. I mean, that's the country I was raised in. That's what I was told to believe in.
Charlie, let's go over some of these other points. But before we do that, I want to go back to Sibel Edmonds. She's the FBI translator listening to NSA intercepts. She goes public on this show and other shows about 4 years ago. Federal gag order. She's trying to get around it. She's saying drug running, terrorist funding, human trafficking, murder, hit teams. That's now all come out that Cheney was running hit teams. in mainstream news illegally, even in the U.S., against non-Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda targets.
Sure.
And she comes out now, breaks the federal gag order about a month ago. It was in the middle of August.
Yeah.
And goes public. And we've got clips in the video, your message to the president, saying up until the day of 9/11, bin Laden and Al-Qaeda and Taliban were working for the CIA.
Yeah, and it didn't get any mainstream coverage whatsoever. Why is that not the top story on the 6 o'clock evening news? Why is the FBI revealing that Ted Olson, Solicitor General, never got the phone call from his wife on the Pentagon flight? Why is that not the lead story on the 6 o'clock evening news?
What about the cell phones? They still can't make them work above 10,000 feet. Every time I'm on a flight, I try, as I take off with it, to see when it cuts out. It does it at about 3,000 feet every time.
Sure.
So I know how tall these radio towers are. They're 2,000. When I get about 1,000 above, it cuts out.